Dear Chief, if you get this message, let me begin by saying you were right and the rest of us weren't paying close enough attention. You quietly warned us at last year's Air Warfare Symposium in Orlando that the drop in the price of oil and gas, the Greek vote repudiating sanctions and belt-tightening, and the Russian leaders' political and military ambitions made for a very unstable and unpredictable Europe and an even more volatile Middle East. You saw things as they were. We saw things as we wanted them to be. It all unraveled so quickly. The Russian occupation of Estonia took place over 2 days using heavily armed, uniformed, but insignia-less Special Forces troops. Masquerading as Estonian patriots, they captured the entire German Eurofighter detachment, including fighter and support aircraft at Amari Air Base, Estonia, whose mission it was to patrol the Baltic. I am told there are hundreds of POWs and some KIAs, but have no independent confirmation on exact numbers yet. This debacle occurred while Sakyr and the rest of NATO were trying to cope with the expansion of the shooting war in the Ukraine. Kiev fell as NATO debated who was responsible for this latest escalation and what to do about the plight of the German Eurofighters and crews imprisoned by these Estonian patriots. Greece added to the mix by insisting no additional sanctions be imposed on Russia until it could be proven beyond reasonable doubt that Russia was at the heart of those actions. It wasn't until early last week when 2 Dutch F-16s flying out of Malbork Air Base in Poland were shot down by a flight of 4 Su-27s escorting 2 Blackjack bombers over the Baltic that NATO awakened to the threat. Of course, Russia claimed the entire incident was a matter of self-defense and that the Blackjacks and their escorts were over international waters and had been repeatedly threatened by the Dutch Vipers. Sakyr asked me to send in additional U.S. fighters, and I did. Thanks to General Brad Smith of ACC and you, sir, I was able to bring in 4 Raptors from Langley to ensure air dominance over that part of the Baltic should we be challenged again. It worked, for a while. As forces flowed into Europe per the TIPFID, Russia objected to what it referred to as NATO preparations for the invasion of the homeland and threatened to attack. We didn't think they would. We were wrong. When the missiles impacted the Ramstein AOC, I was there, along with 873 others. 500 more people were in the Allied Command Center next door. Russian aircraft hit us 50 minutes later. We lost half our planning staff and virtually all of the equipment that was above ground. The Allied Command Center is still operating, but our above ground and soft-skinned AOC has been obliterated. What were we thinking? I'm sending you this message from a place called Borfink, where we are reconstituting what is left of the AOC. You would be proud of how our airmen adapted rapidly to this new wartime reality and made this difficult move to Borfink. The place is a relic of the Cold War, but unless they start launching nukes, we should be able to operate successfully from here. Chief, what I need from you and the stateside forces is acknowledgement that reinforcements are on the way. I have to believe the 18th Air Force TACC in St. Louis and perhaps other critical control nodes, including yours, are under cyber attack because, despite the TACC's best efforts, we haven't been able to establish connectivity long enough to plan and move things as we must to fight and win. I've got unprotected C-17s and C-5s on the ground here in Europe with their crews ready and eager to go. But the question is, go where? Do what? Bottom line, I'm being forced to plan and fight with sporadic C2 connectivity up and down the chain. Word just came in confirming final preparations for multiple missile launches from the Middle East. They could hit us in less than an hour. Fight's on.